So the Green Bay Packers, with their first overall pick in the 2024 draft, stay put at pick 25, even though they had some opportunity to trade back there. Goot stuck at 25 and was very comfortable with selecting guard Jordan Morgan out of Arizona, which was actually the most recent player I mocked to the Green Bay Packers as their first overall pick in my Brian Gutekunst mock draft. Albeit I had a trade back to 33 there. That obviously didn't happen. Gutekunst said he had multiple chances to move back from 25, both to later in the first round and out of the first round, and he didn't feel comfortable doing so with Jordan Morgan on the board. And there was some hype around Morgan earlier today that the Washington Commanders were going to trade back up into the first to select Morgan, say if he's there right at the back end of the first. So for everyone saying that Morgan would have been available at 41, highly, highly unlikely. And that's why I had a mock to the Green Bay Packers at 33. Sure, a couple picks off there, 8 picks off there to be exact. But he was my pick for the Brian Gutekunst mock draft for a multitude of different reasons. We know the Green Bay Packers wanted to add offensive lineman help. We know the Green Bay Packers love versatile linemen. And in terms of versatility, with the linemen that were left on the board, Jordan Morgan was at the top. You could argue Graham Barton also has versatility, but when you're looking at both of those linemen, sure, Graham Barton probably a better center, right? But Jordan Morgan is a better guard than Graham Barton, and he has flexibility to play tackle, and the Packers are simply going to put their best 5 out there, and that's what's important. Putting your best 5 out there to protect Jordan Love. Bringing up Jordan Morgan's PFF profile here, 6'6", 320, which we'll go over his height and weight with the RAS, 22 years old, almost 23, so still falls in line with the 21 or 22-year-old draft selection in the first round for the Green Bay Packers. And his description here says Morgan needs to get stronger, whether he plays tackle or guard in the NFL, but he has desirable athletic traits with fast hands and feet that bolster his starting caliber potential. And fast hands and feet are clearly what the Packers were looking for, because Gutekunst in his press conference after this pick said he played left tackle, he's got left tackle feet, very athletic kid, very strong, sturdy body. And when you take a look at his stats over the last few seasons, really great from 2023 to 2022. We see an 83.5 PFF grade in 2023, played in 787 offensive snaps, pretty much all of them at left tackle. Only allowed 2 sacks in 477 pass blocking snaps, 1 quarterback hit, and 11 hurries. The year prior only allowed 1 sack in 443 pass blocking snaps, 2 quarterback hits, and 14 hurries with an 83.1 PFF grade. He's a good run blocker. He's strong. 77.0 run blocker and a very good pass blocker. 87.3 pass block grade last season. And you might be wondering, well, why is he a guard, right? He started the last 3 seasons at left tackle. Well, Jordan Morgan just translates into guard better, in my opinion, but that doesn't mean he can't play tackle if you need him to. If it's one of your best 5 is Jordan Morgan at tackle, then that's fine. And that very well could be the case if the Packers end up moving Zach Tom into center and then either A, have Rasheed Walker at right tackle and Morgan at left, or vice versa. If you look at his RAS here as a tackle, a 9.24, and he translates to guard because of the shorter arms, 32.875. That's prototypical for a guard. He has elite speed, a 5.04. Good size for a tackle, or okay size under RAS for a tackle, 6'5", 311, 27 bench reps. Like I said, extremely strong, great broad jump, good vertical. He didn't test agility, so, shuttle and 3-cone. We know the Packers love their linemen to have a 7.5 3-cone, so likely the Packers weren't worried about that he didn't test. And when you move him over to guard on RAS, he has not okay, but good size now because he's 6'5", 311, 27 bench reps, still elite speed, and great explosion with, again, that broad jump and vertical. When you look at his pros and cons on PFF, his pros are nice overall athlete with good explosiveness and good running speed, wide, imposing base in his stance, strong hand placement and pass protection, good core strength for change of direction and quick reaction to stunts/games. As for his cons, can get pushed around a bit even when he's in front of defenders, has the athleticism to mirror pass rushers, but doesn't always have the strength to redirect them. Good anchor technique, but lacks sand in the pants to truly stop them cold. and shorter stride length on his kick slides. Some more things that Gutekunst said in his post-first round draft press conference that just proved that they are comfortable with him at guard or tackle. He said, despite having only 32 and 7/8 inch arms, what makes up for it is their feet and athleticism, and that's what Jordan has. He also was asked what position Jordan Morgan will play, and he said, best 5. That's the whole point with Morgan's versatility. Another good offensive lineman who gives Packers options to get their best configuration on the field. So what that configuration will be in 2024, my best guess is that it will still be Zach Tom at right tackle, Josh Myers at center, right? They have Josh Myers for another year under contract. Do I think he leaves Green Bay after this? Probably. And at that point, do the Packers draft a center later in this draft? They very well could. I think Jordan Morgan plugs right in at starting right guard to start the 2024 season. And it's going to be a nice camp battle between him and Sean Rhyan. I always love competition, and I still believe in Sean Rhyan. So I want both of those guys to, of course, elevate each other. And then you get your best 5 out there. And if for some reason that is Jordan Morgan at tackle, and say you put Rasheed Walker at left or right and Zach Tom in at center or even right guard, that's fine. If it's your best 5, it's your best 5. I do have some clips here I just saw on Twitter. Now it's just against Liatu Latu, the first defender selected in tonight's first round at pick, 15 to the Colts. And we see Morgan on the left side here at left tackle against Latu. And he does a great job protecting and blocking against Latu. If you guys want me to do a more of a tape breakdown on Jordan Morgan, of course I can at a later time. But I quickly just wanted to show you guys these clips of him having no problem against Latu. I wouldn't say no problem, but doing a good job against Latu, against a spin move there. It's just impressive considering this is the first defender taking in this entire first round in this draft. And Jordan Morgan at left tackle, holding his own. And he does translate better into a guard. Obviously, we don't have much tape on that, but I think he would be great there. At the end of the day, Brian Gutekunst had Jordan Morgan very high on his draft board. It's not some website draft board that Brian Gutekunst is using. He was very comfortable with selecting Jordan Morgan at 25 and was not comfortable moving back to see if he was still there. He was his number 1 guy on his board, and I can see why. They need to continue to protect Jordan Love and think about the future, whether Josh Myers is there or not, where they're going to put Zach Tom, and the fact that they just lost John Runyon this offseason, and that's a lot of snaps to replace at right guard. Yeah, sure, they were already rotating Sean Rhyan in, but now this adds another layer of competition, another layer of depth. The Packers are great at building talent, building depth on that offensive line, and it's the most important thing outside of the quarterback play is to protect the quarterback. I know a lot of people are probably mad at this pick because it wasn't Cooper DeJean. I get it, right? I understand. Cooper DeJean is still on the board. So clearly 31 other teams didn't value Cooper DeJean as a first-round draft pick either. The Packers pick at 41. There's still a ton of talent on the draft board right now. Cooper DeJean, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Edgerrin Cooper, Jerzon Newton, and Jackson Powers Johnson, just to name a few. And the Packers are at 41, so they're just another 8 picks away. They very well could trade up. They have 4 picks day 2. The Packers could still trade up and get a Cooper DeJean or a Kool-Aid McKinstry on top of Jordan Morgan, and that would be an amazing scenario. I still am a fan of Cooper DeJean. I still am a fan of Kool-Aid McKinstry, but it makes a ton of sense getting your guy on that offensive line, a versatile, great athlete, protect Jordan Love. There's a ton of cornerbacks still available. There's, of course, linebackers, Edgerrin Cooper, Junior Colson. That's a need. There's some safeties later down in this draft. I'm not worried. I believe in this pick. That's why I had it mocked in the Goot mock. It just made sense for me because of how the draft can also fall later for the Green Bay Packers. But that's my instant breakdown. I also had my live reaction to this pick up on my channel. Again, in the future, I'll do a full tape breakdown on Jordan Morgan. But my initial thoughts to summarize are I'm happy with the pick. Sure, would I've liked it if the Packers were able to trade down and still get Jordan Morgan? Yeah, but that clearly wasn't the case. I think Washington would have traded back in and nabbed Jordan Morgan, or another team like Dallas would have selected Jordan Morgan over someone like Tyler Guyton. We really don't know. And, Gutekunst was very comfortable taking him at 25. And again, it just makes sense. But I appreciate you guys coming by to the channel. If you could, please leave a like down below to support the channel. But I'll catch you on the next one. And as always, go Pack Go.